Hey, Zack here from Frontenac Outfitters Canoe and Kayak Center. Today we're having a look at the Perception Kayaks Pescador Pro 100. So the Pescador Pro series of kayaks comes in two lengths, the 100 and the 200. This is a 10-foot version being the 100. It's a great little entry-level fishing kayak. Price is really attractive on it. It's going to be good for your smaller paddler or even a younger, child to teenager who's looking to get into their first affordable fishing kayak. This doesn't have to be just a fishing kayak. It can totally be used as a sit-on-top recreational kayak. Great for at the cottage or for mulling around. It's not overly heavy, so it's easier to car top and transport. Let's have a look at some of the features on here. We'll start at the bow and work our way back to the stern. So at the front here, we've got our carry handle. It's a web style with a nice padded grip on here. Pretty heavy duty. It's designed to be able to carry the boat and handle the load. They are replaceable, so if it does wear out on you over time or you lose it for whatever reason, they can be replaced. Sliding back into the tank well, we have our removable net here. This will keep your gear in place, fully removable if you find that you don't need it. The adjustable bungees on here are going to make sure that there's proper tension to keep your load in place. There is a scupper hole in here that you could use for a transducer. And also to use to drain any water that accumulates out. Right here you'll notice there's a couple of cutouts here, and this is a great spot where you can rest the fishing rod if you're paddling and you just want to have it quick at the ready. That little groove there will help keep it in place so you don't potentially lose it. If it's not strapped down, obviously that could be subject to change, but it's there. If you're landing the fish, you can set the rod down and not have to worry about it flipping overboard unexpectedly. Right here we've got our little gear pod and a water bottle holder here. This is a great spot in here to place a small battery. You could mount your fish finder right on top of here if you want, or you can just use it as semi-dry storage. Throw some immediate things that you might need on the water with you right there. Water bottle holder here, so it's at the ready. Important to stay hydrated. On the sides here, on both sides, we've got some gear track here. You can be able to use this to mount fishing rod holders. Again, if you have a side mount transducer, battery block, these types of things, you can absolutely use this to mount that. And I find on this boat, the seat is far enough back that any accessories mounted on here aren't going to hinder too much anyway with good paddling performance. Adjustable foot braces. These are the slide lock style, very easy to adjust, and then they just lock back in place so you can adjust your foot position if needed on the water and still get good proper paddling posture. Scupper holes, strategically mounted so any water coming into the boat is going to drain out by itself. This is a self-bailing vessel, so that's a good feature to have. On colder days, if you do want so desire, you can put scupper plugs in there to stop water basically from coming up through those scupper plugs, but on the other hand it will prevent water obviously from draining back out, but it is a good feature to maybe have at the ready just in case you need it one day. Right here in the center area there's a kind of a circle area here which you could cut out and mount one of their pod accessories in here, so you have interior access into the hull of the boat, or use it as a storage area. If you don't want to go that route, the bungee here designed to carry a small tackle box. That's going to help keep that secure in place. The cutout here is designed nicely for a smaller Plano style tackle box. You could use it for a variety of things to secure into the boat. The seat itself in the Perception Kayaks, nice, comfortable, breathable mesh seat, high quality. The whole seat itself can be removed. So if you're going in for that shore lunch or just want a nice spot to relax on the dock or on the beach, you can use this guy as a camp chair, etc. Super versatile and a really nice feature. Our seating system here is a two-position seat, so you have kind of this high seat and then a quick, just slide it forward, drops it down into a bit more of a recline position, so you can change on the fly if you need to, just to adjust for comfort. With that said, I would recommend removing the chair for traveling. If you're carrying this guy on the roof, you don't want to risk damaging the seat. They are fairly expensive, and you don't want to have to replace that or have it fly through somebody's windshield behind you. So please make sure you take that off. Small tray here if you want to throw the odd little bit of tackle or something. It's not super deep, so I'd be really mindful of what I'm putting in here because there is a chance that it could fall overboard, and you don't want that to happen. But on the inside here we've got our integrated side carry handles. This being not an overly heavy kayak, it is possible to kind of pick it up from its side and carry it. It's a little awkward. I mean, it's a big boat. It is still fairly heavy, so be mindful of that. But those are there, to lift in and out of the dock at the water and that type of thing. On the side here we have our integrated paddle holder. So this little bungee here, you just put your paddle there, clip it in place, That's going to hold the paddle safe for you while you're out fishing on the water. So moving a little further back, we've got a couple of integrated rod holders. These guys are great. They're fairly shallow. They will accommodate a rod fairly easily. With our lash point here, you can tether that rod to the kayak. The beauty of this rod holder is it also accepts the Rod Pro Holder X, which is an aftermarket accessory from Perception that's designed to fit in here and give you a little bit extra security and height for your rod holder, making it easier to grab. As we come further back into the tank well of the boat, the rear tank well, we've got this hatch right here. Is a 5-inch hatch that opens up to the inside of the kayak, and from here you can take a couple of small dry bags, put them inside of there. I'd be mindful of throwing any loose items in there because you don't want them to start getting lost inside the hull. But a couple of small 5-liter, maybe a 10-liter dry bag will fit in there and stay relatively in place. In our rear tank well here, we've got a couple of more scupper holes, and again, the water is designed to be able to drain back through those holes. So I wouldn't necessarily recommend plugging those guys because any water that comes in will end up pooling in there, and in fact, we want that water to be able to drain out. The rear tank well on this, plenty big. You'll be able to store the Perception Kayaks or the Perception Kayak splash crate. If you've got a homemade milk crate, or even the bigger Wilderness Systems kayak crate will fit in here relatively easy. We've got multiple position bungees here so we can tie down our load in a number of different configurations. And then coming to the back, again, we've got the same carry handle that we have at the front. Nice heavy duty webbed handle with the comfort grip rubber on the outside. Makes it easy for carrying the boat around. So let's have a look at the hull and see what's underneath. So the hull on the Pescador Pro, really well designed, using a multi-chine style hull. So it's going to offer a lot of good primary stability as well as secondary stability. Starting at the bow, we've got this nice shallow V entry style here. Flares out moderately. It's not going to be the best in rough conditions, but this certainly isn't a kayak designed for that. Coming a little bit further back, you can see this nice deep transducer pocket. We've got a couple of screw holes here for mounting. Your mileage may vary depending on what type of transducer you're using, but just know that that is there for some of the smaller depth finding mounts that are available. Got two channels that run the base of the boat here with our scupper options here. Nice big wide scuppers on the bottom. They're designed this way to help reduce that kind of splashing noise that you get through the scuppers, and also to try and reduce the amount of water coming up through the bottom of the hull. Fairly flat hull, so that's going to offer a lot of good primary stability. Good side, multi-chine hull as we would call this, which does offer a good amount of secondary stability. Again, not a rough water boat, but certainly in mild chop on smaller lakes, it's going to handle that reasonably well. You can see we've got multiple scupper positions all the way through back the hull, which align obviously with the ones on top. And then coming back, you've got kind of this integrated skeg with the skid plate on here. The skid plate is removable and replaceable, so if you do find that you're dragging the kayak a little more than you should be, you can replace that guy. Don't drag your kayak. The skeg design here, this is designed to help the kayak track. 10-foot boats are notoriously bad for tracking, and what I mean by tracking is being able to paddle that kayak in a straight line relatively easy. This design here helps offset that and give you the ability to be able to paddle the kayak in a relatively straight line without too much effort. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed that review. If you have any questions, feel free to send us an email, give us a call, or check out the website, frontnacoutfitters.com. Thanks again for watching.